up, everybody? Welcome to the Bonus Domain Toy Review. Today we're going to be taking a very special look at the new Nacelle Toys Star Trek toy line. And what we've got here is the Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, Valkris action figure. This is very, very cool. I've been waiting to review any figure from the Nacelle Toys toy line that they have revealed, and the future of the toy line looks very bright. I know that they're trying their hand at a lot of more obscure character looks and appearances in the first two waves, and then the third wave we should be getting pretty much the entire cast of the original series, which I'm very excited about. Getting my hands on the figures that they've already shown off, like the Uhura, Spock. Looks so cool. They're doing the Enterprise bridge from TOS. Like, it comes in pieces and parts. I'm very excited about that. And I was very excited about this. I've always thought this character looked really cool, but I hadn't seen the TOS movies yet. And then when I watched the TOS films, including, obviously, The Search for Spock, Star Trek 3, I was amazed at how short of an appearance Valkris had. I had already pre-ordered the figure because I was like, I love Klingons. I started with TNG, so I'm, obviously, you get a lot of Klingon lore in that show. And Worf is one of my favorite characters. He is my favorite TNG character, so, this kind of seemed like a no-brainer for me. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this cool female Klingon character, with all these badass accessories. And then I saw her in the movie, and she was in it for all about, I don't know, maybe a minute. But I think that's cool. I think that really is feeding more into this narrative that Nacelle is trying to start off with rarer characters, rare looks for characters, and this is a great example of that. I can't think of a single Star Trek Valkris figure. They sure as hell didn't make one for Playmates. Like, any Playmates Valkris figures, there are none of those. This is cool. And what a way to get her into the line. Look at all these accessories. I'm sorry about the glare, by the way. I just could not, I don't know, I'm not the best lighter in the world, so I could not really get this any better. But let's get a look at this packaging. Very big here. A lot of stuff going on here. You can see the Valkris inside the packaging. You can see the Genesis device here. That thing is so big. All the other accessories are coming in here. I actually think this is quite a nice presentation. And we turn it here to the side. We've got this Valkris render. It's the same Valkris render on the other side. And let's take a look at this. Another Valkris render, as well as Wave 1 of the Star Trek Nacelle Toys line. And all of them are numbered here. Valkris is 5. And yeah, you're getting a lot of interesting characters that have never been made into figures. So that's cool. That's definitely cool. There is her bio paragraph, if you want to read that. I'm excited to look at this figure. I'm excited to look at the accessories. I'm excited to get it out. First Nacelle Toys Star Trek figure reviewed on this channel. Let's get her open. Getting the figure out of the packaging, looking at the paints and everything. This is a pretty cool little figure. So articulation-wise, got a lot of good articulation here in the neck. A lot of mobility. No butters. You kind of get this sound with it. About as much as you can go up with the elbows, which kind of sucks. Back and forth here on the wrists, both sides. And out of the package you get this open hand, and then this closed fist hand with a ring on it. And then you get some waist articulation here. It's not like a ball joint or anything like that. Going down, we've got thigh cut, so you can move that, which is really cool. Knee articulation, it doesn't go back very far at all. I was actually surprised to see how minimal the articulation was in the knee, but then you get quite a bit here in the ankle, so, which is pretty cool. And you get a peg hole, which I feel like with character with heels, you're definitely going to need that. You also get a boot cut, which is cool. This is a very, softer plastic kind of cape. So, it's fluid. You can definitely do stuff with it. In terms of the paints, I'm liking the paints. The paints look pretty good. Nothing really, out of the ordinary. I really like this, metallic sheen she's got kind of all over her wardrobe, especially these parts. And no paints that I'm noticing are, missing or anything like that. I think the sculpt could have been a little bit more prominent here on the forehead ridges. But you know what? It's already a pretty soft forehead ridge, makeup-wise anyway. I like the hair. There's some, brown accents added to what I assume was, just black molded plastic. Necklace here. Boobs look great. Back of the head. Yeah, see, everything back here looks pretty good too. They added a little paint here, which is nice. And yeah, nothing really to see on the back of the cape. In terms of accessories, we've got this like little console thing. Pretty cool. It's got this button. You can push this button. You can also turn this dial, which is pretty cool. You can't pull this out, but it's okay. I can't really imagine I'm going to be pulling it out very often. Like, oh yeah, this is my favorite accessory. Like, you know. But yeah, pretty cool. Well painted. Serves its purpose. I love bigger things like this that are kind of like, you know, world building. So I really like this. This is a major plus for me. I really like this. It's going to add some decorum to this new Nacelle Toys Star Trek collection. And then you get this, which is pretty cool. Open it up. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's the Genesis device. Looks pretty cool. Pretty well painted inside and out. There's all these like little metal facets going down. And all of those are painted. Pretty much everything in there inside that's supposed to be painted is, at least from what I can tell. So this just looks really cool. I mean, this is just going to be a great piece. You know what I mean? I mean, Wrath of Khan collection, Search for Spock collection. I mean, this is awesome. You know, this is a great world building accessory. Definitely happy that she came with this. You also get this awesome bat lift, which is also really, really cool. Well sculpted, well painted. Looks awesome. You also get a plethora of hands. Here's a gun wielding hand. Just a normal gripping hand. And a fist hand, and you get these for the left and right hands. So like 8 hands in total. You get this like Klingon tricorder is what I'm going to call it. I don't know the exact name of it, but I love the paints on it. It looks fantastic, very tattered, very cool with like the green, like kind of like LED showing lights and stuff like that. It looks just awesome. Included also is a Klingon phaser. I forgot what these are called. I'll probably put the name of it in editing. I just cannot remember what these are called right now. Then a very important accessory, but the smallest and probably least interesting compared to all the other stuff she was packed with, are the Genesis plans. Here they are. Here are the Genesis plans that she gets in the movie and then completes her mission by giving them to Commander Krug and then commits suicide aboard her ship after giving the plans to Krug. Pretty cool. Just like a black little thing. Having had a thorough look through of this figure, a proper review of it, I enjoy this figure. I think it's very cool that Nacelle is here and hopefully to stay, the Star Trek license, and they keep pumping out cool figures, and I'm excited to see the future of Nacelle. I'm not really, like, super into the rest of the figures in Wave 1, and I don't really know if I'm going to be getting a whole lot from Wave 2. I think I'm going to get the Valkris and the Romulan Commander from TOS. I think I'm just going to have to get those. They're just too cool to pass up. I don't know if I'm going to be getting any others, though. Certain characters might just be too niche for me to really care about, especially for the price point. Like, I actually think, what did I pay for this? Like $30 or something? I actually think that's pretty fair for this. I mean, this was stock full of accessories, really cool accessories, and not just that, accessories that you could honestly use for other figures as well, and will look great in displays with other figures of the same movie, same era, whatever you're really trying to go for, and I really appreciate that. That is something that I feel like has been lacking immensely from, say, the Black Series. I feel like the Black Series really lacks in terms of vehicles. I think they also lack in terms of world-building accessories, especially compared to their 3.75 counterpart in TDC. So I'm just happy to see in this series, they're really seemingly aiming for that, to give more world-building accessories, really fill out shelves, really give more bang for the buck, and I really do appreciate that. I do think the articulation could be a little bit better, but then again, Valkris is a figure where I really don't think you can blame the company for not giving her more articulation, because she really doesn't do anything. She really doesn't do anything in the movie except for, you know, do something very important, obviously, that does kick off the whole film. But then she kills herself, and she's in the movie for like 1 minute. Spoilers. The accessory selection is, again, fantastic. I mean, they included stuff they didn't even need to include. And I respect that, because there are so many lines that would usually just give you the bare essentials. I can think of so many toy lines by certain toy companies that could be doing more, but just aren't in terms of their accessories. So I'm glad that this like $30-something figure actually comes with accessories, like a lot of accessories, different hand parts and everything, and that's awesome. That's something I can really, really sink my teeth into when it comes to the future of this line. One thing I was kind of thrown off by a little bit was The hands seem to be cast in a certain type of, like, skin pigmented plastic. And then there's some paint on the face, the neck, and the chest area. And I don't know, I don't really feel like the paints match up too well, which is a little bit disappointing, because she only has skin showing in, like, 3 different sections. Her face down to her chest, and then her hands, and it's kind of like, all right, can we get these all to match up? So that's a little bit disappointing. I don't know if that's just like mine or everybody's, but in past reviews, I really couldn't tell. But kind of getting in person, I could kind of tell immediately, like, oh yeah, there's some offness in the skin. And now that's not going to bother me too much, honestly, and I don't really think it should bother too many people, but it is something worth mentioning that I did notice. Also, this isn't really a nitpick, but something I think would have been cool is a deep cut accessory, especially if they were really trying to put in, like, as many accessories as they could. They definitely could have put in her face protective sheath that she wears in a rare production still that was never used in the movie. You can see it for a slight shot in The Search for Spock, because in the next scene she's not wearing it. So yeah, I don't really know why they removed that. I've never really heard anything about that. It's kind of like, actually, I've done a lot of research on this character, just, out of interest and stuff like that. You watch the movie and you kind of want to know a little bit more about the background of the characters, the actors, the actresses, whatever. And I couldn't find a whole lot of information about that facial covering, but they didn't include it here, and it would have been cool to see, because it's such a deep cut niche thing about this character that's already pretty niche and deep cut. I would have respected the hell out of that, but I already do respect the hell out of this. It's a pretty cool figure. Honestly, I almost hesitate to just say figure. I almost want to say set, because this just feels bombastic. There's just so much shit going on here. Well, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know down in the comments, what's your favorite Star Trek movie? Who's your favorite Star Trek character? Which do you prefer, TNG, TOS? Are you gonna get any of the Nacelle Toys Star Trek figures? What do you think about the future of Star Trek figures with Nacelle Toys at the helm? Let me know down below. Love hearing from you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Off to start a new planet with this Genesis device. So, Devonius and Valkris, out.